Thanks very much, Chair, and thanks to our speakers for coming in, although I have to say I thought I was at the wrong meeting at the start, because this meeting is supposed to be about the right to asylum in Lithuania and Latvia, and a lot of the content of our speakers wasn't dealing with the vindication of that right, I thought. So just maybe following up on some of the points made by colleagues. I mean, our committee has visited both countries, have seen the situation on the ground. We know that in flagrant violation of EU law, Lithuania has legalised pushbacks. And I'd like a little bit more detail on that from Lithuania, but especially from the Commission. Now, I suppose, firstly, has Lithuania implemented the Court of Justice judgment from the 30th of December in 2022, where basically it was held that you were in violation of EU law by failing to grant asylum or allow people seek asylum if they had entered illegally. So entering irregularly has nothing got to do with undermining a person's right to seek asylum. Could we get an acknowledgement from everybody on the panel that that is the case, because that is international law, and the law that's been brought in Lithuania conflicts and violates that. So I'd like to know what the Commission is doing about that. I note that you said in answer to Tineke, well, sure, you're going to see how it goes in detail. I don't really think that that's good enough. I mean, if the law provides for, and it does, that border guards can refuse somebody access to asylum because they entered illegally and in an emergency, well, that's in violation of EU law. So what do you need to assess? It's pretty much black and white. So I'd like to know when you're going to start infringement proceedings on that. I'd like to know from Lithuania how many third country nationals weren't allowed to cross the border, their country of origin, where that issue is dealt with the relevant administrative authorities and so on. Where we can get those records. Last point is to support the point made by the S&Ds about Olga Karatch and others in that situation. You've said that, well, you welcome real opposition people from Belarus. That frightens me, to be honest. This woman is a known peace activist. She doesn't support the war. She's a peace activist and a conscientious objector who, if she gets sent back to Belarus, under the law, she's been accused of terrorism there for her anti-war activities, she could face the death penalty. And Lithuania has said that she's a national security risk? Seriously? I mean, you have a responsibility here to address and offer asylum to people who are conscientious objectors from Belarus, from Russia, peace activists, presumably. I find it pretty scary, to be honest.
Latvia and Lithuania have faced unprecedented illegal border crossings since 2021. These hybrid threats remain, and those two countries are doing their best to protect the EU border.
For the Commission to open their remarks and talk about migrants and refugees as a hybrid threat, I find, frankly, very, very disappointing and unacceptable.
On your last point, I didn't say that migrants were a hybrid threat. I said that irregular border crossings were a hybrid threats. Okay? Well, I don't know.
It's migrants and refugees who are making the crossing.
I'm not talking. I never mentioned the word refugee.
Okay for a migrant to be a hybrid threat. I'm just trying to understand.
I never said migrants either.
Okay, but the people making the crossings are migrants and refugees.